There are a few things we wish we knew before visiting Paris. Trust us, knowing these will make a huge difference to your trip. And just wait until tip number 7 most tourists have no idea about. Let's dive in. Tipping in Paris isn't a thing. You don't have to tip and it's not expected. If you really enjoy the service, you can leave a small tip, 1 to 2 euros, but service charges are already included in worker salaries. That said, watch out for tipping scams. Some restaurants, especially in touristy areas, sneak a tip onto the bill without telling you, knowing that many tourists, especially Americans, are used to tipping. Another sneaky trick, if they think you don't speak French, they might give you an English menu with higher prices than the regular French one. Honestly, it's best to avoid super touristy restaurants anyway. They're overpriced and usually not that great. Just walk a few minutes away from the main attractions and you'll find amazing spots with better food, better service, and a more authentic Parisian vibe. You might not get that perfect Eiffel Tower view, but trust us, a charming Parisian street with incredible food is just as magical. In Paris, lunch usually happens between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. and dinner kicks off around 8 p.m. and can go until 10 p.m. And here's the thing, meals are super laid back and slow paced. The waiters aren't going to rush you or keep checking in every 5 minutes. If you need something, you'll have to catch their attention. Oh, and when you're ready to leave, you have to ask for the check, which is called l'addition. Yes, a lot of them do, and if they spot you're a tourist, they'll probably switch to English, which is super helpful if you're just visiting, but kind of a bummer if you're trying to practice your French. But here's the thing, they'll be way more willing to help you out and go the extra mile if they see you making an effort with the language. Trust me, they appreciate it, and it usually pays off, so learning a couple common phrases couldn't hurt. First things first, if you can avoid driving in Paris, do it. Traffic is a nightmare and parking is very difficult and expensive. The metro is hands down the best way to get around Paris. Of course, we always recommend walking whenever you can because that's when you get to see all the beautiful sights up close. But if you're trying to get from one spot to another quickly, the metro is your best bet. Pro tip, download the Île-de-France Mobilité or Bonjour RSPT app. You can buy single tickets or a digital Navigo pass ahead of time, so no waiting in line at ticket machines, just scan your phone to get through. Just make sure your phone has NFC turned on. Single tickets are €2.50 and it's €13 one way to or from the airport. If you're planning to ride a lot, a day pass is €12, though keep in mind it doesn't include the airport ride. If you want to get around the Paris metro efficiently and without losing your mind, try to avoid big interchange stations like Châtelet, Nation, Gare de Lyon, and Montparnasse. These stations are huge, confusing, and often require long walks between platforms, which can slow you down, especially if you're carrying luggage or traveling during rush hour. We'd skip metro stops like Tuileries, Anvers, Bir Hakeim, Charles de Gaulle Étoile, and Saint-Michel-Notre-Dame, since they're hotspots for pickpockets. Instead, hop off a stop or two early and take a short walk. The best time to visit Paris really depends on what you're looking for. If you love warm weather, summer's your best bet. There will be crowds, but not as many as you'd think, since a lot of Parisians head out of the city for vacation, especially in August. If you're not a fan of big crowds, the shoulder seasons are perfect. Think April to June for spring and September to early October for fall. The weather is mild, and it's also the best time to score deals on flights and accommodation. Plus, the spring blossoms and fall foliage are totally worth seeing. And hey, let's not forget about winter. Paris at Christmas is magical with all the lights and Christmas markets, so even though it's a bit crowded, it's definitely a bucket list experience. You don't need to book a pricey 2-week-long trip to enjoy Paris. There's this myth that you need a lot of money to visit Paris, but that's not true. You can totally explore Paris on a budget. We've actually put together a 3-day itinerary that shows you how to enjoy all the must-see spots without breaking the bank. We've even got a 1-day itinerary for quick trips, plus a 3-day one if you're not worried about sticking to a budget. And if you're thinking of visiting in the fall or around Christmas, we've got special itineraries for those seasons too. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, check out the link in the description. We love Paris, but we don't always have the time or the budget for long trips. Our visits are usually no more than 4 days, and believe us, that's plenty of time to experience the city. So if you're worried you need a long stay to make it worth it, don't be. You can totally do a budget-friendly trip to Paris in just a few days and still have an amazing time. One of the ways is to eat at bouillon restaurants. If you want affordable, classic French food, bouillon restaurants are a must-try. These historic spots date back to the 19th century and are known for their cozy vibe, Art Nouveau decor, and traditional dishes like boeuf bourguignon, onion soup, and crème brûlée. Paris has 7 bouillons, including the famous Bouillon Chartier, Ingram Boulevard, and Montparnasse, Bouillon Pigalle, Julian, République, Racine, and Pharamond. Pigalle, République, and Racine take reservations, while Chartier and Julian are first come, first served. So definitely plan ahead if you don't want to wait. Our favorites, Racine and Julian for the decor, and Julian and République for the food. You can get escargot, steak frites, pain perdu, and wine for under 30 euros, but it's possible to spend even less. Paris is one of the most visited cities in the world, which means crowds. Lots and lots of crowds. That's why we highly recommend getting skip the line tickets in advance for any attractions on your list. We did this for the Louvre and we were so glad that we did because the line to buy tickets was ridiculously long. With skip the line tickets, we got in super quickly, and trust me, those extra couple of euros are so worth it. You'll save time, get to actually enjoy the attraction without rushing, and see more of the city overall. Same goes for restaurants. Whenever possible, make a reservation ahead of time. Popular spots fill up fast and you don't want to waste time wandering around looking for a table. Contactless payment is widely accepted, although having some cash for small purchases can be useful, but not necessary. If you're working with a different currency and you're worried about conversion fees, we suggest downloading Revolut and applying for a digital travel card. One of its biggest perks is no hidden currency conversion fees. You can pay in local currencies at the real exchange rates, avoiding the extra charges that banks and credit cards usually add. You can also withdraw cash from ATMs and even track your spending in different currencies, all from your phone. It's a great way to save money and avoid surprises while traveling. Pickpockets are pretty common in Paris, so it's good to stay aware, especially on the metro or in crowded areas. Keep an eye on your stuff and watch out for common tourist scams like fake petitions or those free friendship bracelets, especially in the Sacré-Cœur area. If someone tries to tie one to your wrist, just walk away. That said, it's not something that should stop you from visiting Paris. Even people who've dealt with this still have a great time and love their trip. For the most part, Paris is pretty safe, and we've been there a few times and haven't had any problems with safety. However, it's always wise to be cautious in big cities. In Paris, tap water is safe to drink, and there's no need to constantly waste your money buying water. You can refill your bottle at public drinking fountains all over the city that are totally safe to drink. And to get free tap water in restaurants in Paris, simply ask for une carafe d'eau, a jug of water, which is complimentary service. Paris is big, so whenever you can combine 2 activities into one, it's a good idea. A picnic lunch along the bank of the Seine is a great way to enjoy a meal with a view. Another great option is a Seine River cruise, especially if you're short on time. It takes about an hour and you'll get to see a lot of the city along the way. We've linked a few suggestions in the description. Some include dinner or drinks if you want to make it extra special. Or you could book an open-top tour bus to see all the important landmarks. Another option is to go up the Arc de Triomphe at sunset for a nice view of the city. If you can, stick around until the Eiffel Tower sparkles for the first time. It looks great from up there. The Eiffel Tower sparkles every evening for 5 minutes at the start of each hour, beginning at dusk and ending at 1 a.m. So if dusk falls at 8:35 p.m., for example, the first sparkle would be at 9 p.m. If you're in Paris on a Sunday, don't be surprised if you find a lot of smaller shops and restaurants closed. It's totally normal. But don't worry, in tourist-heavy areas like the Champs-Élysées and around the big department stores like Galeries Lafayette, Printemps, most places stay open. In bakeries, some will be open in the morning, but many close by midday. If you need groceries, bigger supermarkets like Monoprix or Franprix often have limited hours. So if you have your heart set on a specific cafe or boutique, check the hours in advance or plan your shopping for another day. For a more local feel, check out neighborhoods like Le Marais, Canal Saint-Martin, and Montmartre. Each has its own vibe and is a nice break from the more touristy areas. If you're into green spaces, small luxury boutiques, and historic cafes, the 6th arrondissement is a great spot to explore. It's home to the Luxembourg Gardens and the charming Saint-Germain-des-Prés area, both perfect for a stroll. One of my favorite things to do in Paris is to buy a croissant or some macarons and sit in one of the Sénat chairs in the Luxembourg Gardens. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go and check out the description. We've added a bunch of links to fun activities in Paris. Also, be sure to watch our Paris playlist for more tips and ideas. Safe travels! The train from the airport is about 12 euros per person. But if you're traveling with a group, a Bolt, like Uber, from the city center costs around €30. So splitting the cost of a ride share might actually work out better.